Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby podcast, bringing you candid rugby conversations, great interviews and insights into Ugandan rugby, and a touch of rugby in Africa and the world over. Fat Cats Rugby podcast is a product of Fat Cats Media brand for all your audio-visual content needs and equipment hire. Hope you enjoy this episode. Welcome to another episode of the Fat Cats Rugby podcast. This is particularly the last one for the year 2022. A lot we have to look up to, a lot we have to look back at, and a lot to look forward to. But I can see the gentlemen with me here have not yet been taken to the village, if they are having any of those plans. But as usual, we are always here for candid rugby conversations. My name is Ruben Kihumuro with our usual Fat Cats. Bruno Akampa and Joseph Dungu.
Yo!
And today we have a champion in our midst, a man that I am proud to say that I shared a rugby field with. He was once my captain at Warriors. He moved on to Heathens, and he has just recently won a trophy, adding to his collection that he had already upgraded. Komakech Akera. Welcome to the Fat Cats Rugby podcast.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Koma, how does it feel to be in the position you are right now, having moved from Warriors to Heathens? Maybe you can just share with us a little bit about how that experience has been, maybe the changes in culture. Just give us a whole story about what it is like to be in Heathens up to this point of how you're feeling being a Uganda Cup champion.
All right. I would want to start by thanking you for hosting me and your co-hosts. Thank you for the initiative of trying to build and push rugby further with this kind of podcast. To be particular and precise, being at Heathens is a good feeling. It's a wonderful rugby feeling. It's a feeling you'd get with any other club. They are very warm people, welcoming. Being a champion is a feeling that I have not felt before, especially for the rugby side. I am quite still processing it as champion of the league, unbeaten, having had my debut with the national team this year, and of recent being champion with Heathen Steel for Uganda Cup. All those things I had not experienced before in my rugby career and journey. So I'm still processing it, but it's a wonderful feeling I'm getting on my end.
Yeah, that's great. You talked about a lot of things that we're going to dive into. Basically, your trip to France, your first outing with the national team, and all. But before we get into that, let me just get a perspective of Bruno. Bruno, you have a big L hanging over you like this. You and your Pirates boys, who I had incidentally given the win, but unfortunately they were not able to win. You were not able to get the trophy as you would have wanted. Do you have any reflections from the weekend? How did you feel? How did it make you feel? And where do you think the boys lost the plot?
Yes, I'll take the L, but it was a nice game away from Kampala in Entebbe. Funny pitch, of course, but that wasn't the issue. The game started in time. I mean, Heathens had a solid lineup, as usual, from the league. Pirates did the same. Both teams had some boys from the sevens who were fit enough to play. Some were fit to play the 110 minutes. Pirates gained possession from the start, which was unexpected from most people. And also, Koma might agree with me, Pirates in the first minutes, almost in the whole of the first half, were driving the maul, which was also unusual because, Heathens and their forwards and the props, they had big boys, but the boys had trained the scrum very well. Then throughout the game, Heathens were coming from behind to equalize, not until the last minute. Pirates were trailing, but then Timothy Dong came through with a try last minute, which was not converted. And the game had to end 14-14. Then through to the extras. The extras were also intense. Homa had already bowed out of the game. He had gotten a slight injury. But if you want to know how tough it was and how both teams were defending, the 6 point lead or difference that Heathens got were 2 drop goals by Joseph Oyet.
Yeah.
That's how intense it was. You couldn't break any line. It was just a matter of a fly half having some brains, pass the ball to the back line who has target and the boot. And Joseph Oyet came through when it mattered, and Heathens had to emerge the champions. It was so painful to the fans and the Pirates players because they had put in a lot of time, especially players training, marking, defending. But then now you lose out on a drop goal. That's how harsh the sport can be.
Do you
But
think
it was fun.
it has reached a point where it's a mental blockade for Pirates players? Every time when it matters, Heathens seems to one up them. Do you think it has reached that point? Because physical ability they might be the same,
Yeah.
but for some reason, Heathens knows how to win games against Pirates.
That's the answer is in your statement. Heathens know how to win games.
Okay.
At some point, Pirates is a team that can lead, that can take the lead for a long time throughout the game. But towards the end, it's just a thing of pedigree, I think, with the Heathens players. Because you've watched Pirates without its key players, and you now look for a leader, and you can even tell from the first half, leadership is lacking, which is uncommon with Heathens. I mean, you still have Scott on pitch who will command you and tell you in the eye, players. We see it as fans even on the sidelines, shouting at players. You still have Uhuru still on. Then you have Koma on, vice captain who will tell you what to do. And then they have an advantage of also Mubiru. Mubiru has played all the minutes, 120 minutes, even in the same final, plus the finals. So I have a feeling it's the consistency of the leadership and the pedigree. And I could be wrong, but I think also what plays in most sports towards the final and winning is a championship mentality. Not take it away from my Pirates players. I mean, we are champions. We've won some cups before, but that mentality has to be on throughout. It has to keep alive even throughout the extra, even throughout the decision you have to make. I mean, any decision, if you decide to just kick and kick and kick without moving a few meters, it might cost you. That's the pedigree and the mentality and the leadership that I think would matter to win the trophy at the end of the day.
Yeah, very interesting. Dungo, from your point of view, I don't know where you were on the weekend. You became suspiciously very quiet. Did you travel to Entebbe? Why are you looking guilty?
No, guys, he didn't. I didn't see him.
Well, first things first. Koma, is this your first appearance on the Fat Cats podcast?
Yes, sure.
We're very pleased to have you.
Thank you very much.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know all of you, so.
Yeah. What were your expectations when you're coming for this podcast? And when you reached, what were your expectations?
All right. When I was coming here, I was really thinking of just what is happening right now. We're going to have a rugby conversation.
Yeah.
And I was trying to prepare myself to be able to submit in the best possible ways.
Yeah.
Regarding rugby in general.
Yeah.
And my club Heathens.
Yes.
And any other questions that maybe.
I love that you mentioned this club nicely. Where are we right now, Koma?
Are we in Kisasi?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Ruben, you want to run an ad? Or a vision come around?
Yeah, we're going to show him around, definitely.
Yeah, tell the people where we are.
It's our custom to show our guests around for people that can come around and have a good time. But Basically, this is the Fred and Winnie B&B, located in Kisasi, 10 self-contained private bedrooms consisting of 2 deluxe doubles, 3 standard doubles, 1 deluxe twin, and 2 standard twin bedrooms. A fully equipped kitchen, power backup system, Wi-Fi, laundry services, a chef to cater to your every meal, a sumptuous buffet breakfast with a choice of selected tropical fruits and juice. Pick up and drop off to and from Entebbe International Airport, as well as local transportation for getting around for up-country trips can be arranged if booked in advance. For bookings, call 0778 933 559. And in this festive season, just let them know that a fat cat sent you for amazing discounts. Yeah.
Well, Ruben.
Yeah.
I still had the floor. Did I?
Yes.
So I'm happy to also see Bruno back. Welcome back, man.
He looks rather sad.
No, man, I feel like he's doing good. I feel like he's been resting. Did you have a weekend at Fred and Winnie Airbnb? You look refreshed and relaxed.
No, I wasn't interested. I look up to resting in the Christmas period in Kawali.
If you have time, Bruno, you have a partner, you have a friend, you can come and use space at Fred and Winnie Airbnb. As you've had, there's good space.
Anyway,
guys,
getting back to the gist. Let me know about Kome a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, I want to talk to Koma, man.
All right.
Koma,
please go ahead.
We've never hosted you here, and you've achieved quite a lot in the space of 2022. You made your move from Warriors and moved to the most successful club, that's Heathens. 2021, yes, but this has been his standout year, where he is and for national duty. You've been playing with the finest crop of players in the country. I can't name them all, but there are names I want to pick up and draw your thoughts on them and see what you think of those players. Tell me what you think of Joseph Oyet. He was the standout player in that final, and he won you guys the game.
Yeah.
13 points.
13 points off his boot. Joseph Oyet. There's also another player called Innocent Gwokto. Tell me about those two guys.
All right. I want to start by saying I know these players way back, even before Heathens. I was in school with Joseph Oyet. I sat in the same class with him at Cololeses.
Wow.
For my Form 6, I played with him high school rugby in Cololeses together with Ino. Ino was quite younger than us in terms of class. I think we were in Form 6. Ino was about in Form 4, Form 3. But we played at high school rugby together. These gentlemen have really been good players from way back. The most surprising one is Ino. We used to play Ino as a flanker. It's quite funny, but while we were younger, we used to play Ino as a flanker, and he was one of our most reliable jumpers in Kololo. But he's now shining at number 13, and he's doing the role very well. These two players are some of the players that we, as a team, we count on a lot. You're sure when Ino receives the ball, or Joseph Oyet, we prefer to call him Joe or King Silver.
Why do they call him King Silver, man? I think we should also have him sometime. Why do they call him King Silver?
Why we call him King Silver is actually this is from school. He loves silver, bling bling, things like this. Yeah, he loves them a lot, yes. And he's always been our
shout
plug.
out Joseph Oyet. We respect you at the Fat Cats podcast.
There's that photo that was put on social media. You really look like you wanted to kill someone.
Yeah, so you're saying he loves bling bling.
Yeah. So the whole team plays well, but there are those players that are really exceptional at the point when you need them most. I think one trend about the both of them is they don't give up.
Yeah.
I have never seen Ino give up. Even when games are really tough, Ino is always hoping for the best. He's saying, just give me the ball. He knows what to do with the ball. We actually refer to Ino as Ronaldo in our big club, Heathens. Because whenever he has the ball, he does magic, really. So they're really good players.
Yeah. Oma, Well, this question may come much, much later, but let me ask it now. You've moved from Warriors, moved on to the Heathens, and your first national team cup.
Yeah, sure.
You're playing in France at the Africa Cup, Africa Men's 15s.
Yes.
You have won the league title.
Back with an accent as well.
Pardon?
It was French. I doubt Koma speaks French. Anyway, Koma, you've played at, you've won, you've retained Tier 1A.
Yeah, we're in Taiwan.
Yes, you've won the league unbeaten, Koma.
Yes.
You've won the sevens. You've won the Uganda Cup.
Yes.
What a year! What are your aspirations after achieving that? Don't you feel like you've hit the ceiling? What more is there for you?
No, I don't think I have hit the ceiling yet. It's just 1 year. There's a lot to do. Personally, there's a lot to build as a person. Rugby is a demanding sport. Every day there's a kid that is better than you.
Right.
You understand? Before I came to the national team this year, there was a reliable lock that was playing at 5. You understand? I came, put up my hand, and I got the jersey. When we went to France, I started off the bench. That was the Kenya game. But by the second and third game, I was starting on the team. And because I was putting up my hand, and that really shows what the sport is. So if I decide to relax now that I have hit the roof, someone else is going to put up their hand.
Yes, there is this. You see, when Koma is jumping onto the pitch, there is that sign cross he makes, looks up in the sky. I think that's something like this. I don't know what that is called. Then he smiles and starts running on with some swagger. Eh? You get? So, Koma, tell us about it. How did you start it? What's the story, man?
There's no story behind it. I think it's just me. I'm a happy person. And I also believe rugby is not a war. I don't see a reason why I should be putting on a very tough face. I need to be happy.
We need your flowers. We have a flower on the table. It's Christmas time, man. It's Christmas time.
I'm always very happy and delighted to play rugby. Every opportunity I get to step on that pitch gives me a lot of joy, because rugby is the only place or the only thing we do without thinking about anything else. You're just thinking about that one man in front of you and your team. So it gives us, me particularly, it gives me a lot of joy. And that is why even on the pitch, I'll do things and I'm smiling, I'm laughing, because I don't think this is a war. Despite the fact that it's a contact sport, it is just a sport. We need to be happy, and if there's no happiness, then why are we doing it?
Right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, I think the one thing that I wanted to ask, because we have seen so many things about Heathens on the pitch. They've gone unbeaten. Uganda Cup, we have seen them go through a semi-final and a final of grueling action. But I have 2 questions, but briefly let us just dissect the first one. The first one is, Heathens has normally been known for its style of having very, very dominant forwards. What do you have to say about the semi-final and, to a certain extent, the final, where it seems like the forwards were coming off a bit on the second fiddle, like they were being second to their opposition, especially with the semi-finals against Cobs. What do you think was the problem? Have you guys identified that yet?
Yeah, I actually want to thank you for asking that question, because it is a very burning question that deserves answers. One of the answers I'm going to give you is Uganda Cup is a very, very short tournament of 4 weeks. You understand? Unfortunately, certain teams have been training and putting their forwards together for a very long time, which did not happen with us.
Mention the teams, Koma, man.
Cobs. You want to hear it? Cobs. Yeah, and
I'll say it again.
So what happens is we had a very short time to train.
Okay.
And there are those niggling injuries that have been coming in from the first game of Uganda Cup. But because it is a very short tournament and in a very fragile period of the year, you all have jobs here, and around this time is when most companies are closing off business. So we did not have the luxury of having all our players available. So we had a very small pool of players that we had to use for every game. And I want to commend those gentlemen for for having stood the test of time. These four weeks were hell, because if you picked up an injury, for instance, on the first game, which was the cheapest game, but unfortunately, rugby is played at levels. The same way a person who plays in the Super 10 or the league is not the same way a person from the championship or the regional team plays. The way we digest the rules is very different.
Yeah.
You understand? So there are those tackles that are really not tackles that happen in between there, and there's nothing to do. The game must go on. So we picked up a few injuries, niggling injuries that became a problem for us as we progressed. Picked up other injuries in the second game, during the second game, which we took onto the third game, which was the semi-final against Cobs, hence the show that you're referring to.
Yeah.
And there we even picked up more injuries, because you see these are injuries that were recurring and would become more serious, and pushed it on to the final, because that is the pool of players we had. And it's very fortunate that we won, and that shows the kind of men we are. We are really warriors. With all the issues we had, we managed to play and win the championship. So
Yeah, that's great. Then just we have talked a lot about the particulars of on the pitch, but I just want to understand, for people that see Heathens from the stands, from maybe on TV, maybe in the newspapers reading about it, they see this winning culture, they see this culture of a team. But can you tell us a little bit about Heathens' culture off the pitch? Is there anything that the team adheres to? Anything that the team does? Maybe you can just paint a picture for us so that people can get a lot more acquainted with the team.
all right, the outstanding culture is at Heathens, we are brothers, and you know the definition of a brother. We look out for each other on and off pitch. And I think that is why we keep winning, because there are games when we just play for each other. There are days when you're really not up for the task, but you look at the fact that me and Aaron are friends. You understand? I need to show up for him, and you show up. So the outstanding feature about Heathens is a brotherhood. They do not care which school you came from. They don't care which language you speak. They don't care what you do. All they care about is the humanity, the human bit of you. You understand? It's not even about how much money you have. Heathens is one of those clubs that I have seen where there's no division. We all sit. It is a crate of beer. It is going to be shared amongst all the players.
Even the Marabu stocks have.
You understand? So it's just that the little we have, we share. And that is what motivates us to play together and be together. We stand together in times of hardship and in times of happiness. So that is what exactly is Heathens. That is what makes Heathens.
Bruno. So on the weekend, man, Heathens were not without their club captain. And he mentioned something about playing for a brother. Do you think Heathens won that game for Michael?
I saw a picture of Michael. I think he was also on some other official duties. Though I also doubt, I doubt he would have come through as they wanted, because he played some hard rugby in Cape Town for the national sevens. But one thing I also realized about the Heathens and what is helping them to overpower the other clubs, both in the league and any other competition, is right from the start, let me say like 2008-9 there is a way their legends have not been phased away at once.
Yeah.
Which is not the case
With
in Pirates.
Speak for
And
Pirates.
many other clubs.
Yes. And many other clubs.
Yeah.
There's a way like three
They hold
legends
each
who are
other's hand,
so good at rugby leave. I understand some leave due to injury or to other duties,
Work commitments.
work commitments, But there is a way some also get lost from the club, not even any rugby ground, which is unlike at Heathens.
Bruno, I think the point you're trying to drive at is the leadership at the club.
Yeah.
Heathens
Exactly. It never misses out.
And the transition.
And the transition.
Yeah.
What happens at Heathens is we have quite a number of leaders, even on pitch. You understand? We have quite a number of experienced players that we play with that keep telling you what to do, even while you're playing. There are very many instances where a mistake happens, for instance, and you look down on yourself, but there's a senior person, a person who has achieved it all.
Mubiru will scream,
Yes.
Teresa, Junior Teresa.
Yeah, he will tell you, Nenda, this is okay. Bibao, we have all been in this situation. He pulls you up and you're up running again. So I think that is what is in Heathens that could be missing in other
Exactly.
clubs.
So you get how one will leave, but Mubiru is still there.
Yes.
I've ever bumped into a Heathens training. Even some legends who are not playing will come to watch training and tell
Bruno
them
is a
what to
scout,
do.
guys.
I've seen Mubiru park the car from work. He doesn't put on a kit because he's not playing maybe some games in the weeks ahead, but he's just on the line training the hookers how to do it right.
Bruno, but I think you guys are also making some good strides. I see your midfield getting a couple of young boys. There is Joseph Kansime.
Yeah.
There is Jeremiah Joseno.
Yeah. It's also some other thing that is happening at Pirates that is good, giving a new crop of players. In the first two games of Uganda Cup, we had 4 tries scored by the newly promoted 5 boys from Sailors, which is good. But then the other element I was talking about also is keeping in the legends around to train, to lead on pitch. If they can be on the pitch, we don't care if it's 30 minutes. Let them be there, put a mark. The other captain or the substitute will start from there. When you're not around, your legacy stays in there, which is a key thing. But also, I think at Heathens, they have an advantage of some players, actually most of the players, having played together for some good years, which I think is also a big advantage because you know everyone's weakness. If I've played with Koma for 5 years and he makes an unusual mistake, I'll come to him and tell him, you don't usually do this. Come on, let's do this, get that win. And those are the small details I think that win games, and they're doing it right.
Ruben said there is more to look at that has happened in this whole year.
Yeah.
Ruben, what was your highlight this year? On the field?
Actually, it's one of the things that I wanted us to go to because I had to highlight it in 2 ways. Best moments and worst moments of the year, 2022, rugby-wise. My best moment for this year will definitely be the Rugby Africa Sevens.
Last one, guys.
Those 2 days were...
That was the best.
That's crazy.
Despite
the rain,
regardless of the rain, the best rugby experience I've had ever since I started following.
Guys, I met Bufa, man. But that day, just that he didn't. Shout out to Bufa, man. I hope you can watch this. The Kenyans, push it so that you can watch it, yeah. But shout out to those Kenyans. Shout out to everyone, man. And you know the teams that visited kept swimming. Guys were making dives in the water. I think they had a good experience. Man, we can't talk about it all day, but that was great.
It was a great experience on pitch and off pitch as well. For
Even
us.
the organizers did a great
very
job.
interesting people, interesting in quotes. Yeah, so it was
Guys, also the food at the fun park, man. It was crazy.
You know, Dungu was selling fish.
Guys, now let me tell you the funny thing.
Yes.
Dungu was selling food.
I was not selling fish, yeah. So what happened was, you guys know Robert,
Fish stall.
you know Bobby Omuna.
Who?
Oh, it was a
So it was Omuna's business, so he sends me a flyer to my WhatsApp just for maybe publicity. I was so free, man. I was like, let me just blow this thing. I think they made some good sales.
But even on the D-Day, you were so active on the fish stall.
I think
know why?
because there's
Interesting in quotes, he said.
girls there.
Anyway, when looking back in regards to some of the unfortunate moments or the worst moments I can talk about is the two games that were postponed, Zimbabwe and Kenya.
Elgon
That
Cup.
is, from a test point of view, especially for the 15s, something that we should not have again.
Right.
It's very, very unfortunate from a business standpoint. Guys like Legends, all the bookings had already been made and everything. Then from also the point of the players and the union, then look good on us. It looks very, very bad. So I think that is one that is very, very unfortunate.
What was your worst moment
I
as
had
a
quite
player
a number.
and as a rugby fan?
As a player and as a rugby fan, I had quite a number. I would share an opinion with Ruben about the two games, that was Kenya and Zimbabwe, that were postponed or cancelled, in whichever sense anyone would want to understand it. Those were really trying moments as a team. After all the time we had put into train, the Zimbabwe game was actually postponed or cancelled while we were already checked into the hotel. We had slept in a hotel room.
Even
The
the
night
stands at
before,
Legends were already
You
up.
understand? Everything was up. Yeah. We're planning to go for captain's run when the news was broken. I remember the mood at the hotel changed. Everyone was not happy. Everyone felt cheated.
But you guys had eaten lunch.
It is never about food, Dongo.
What
It's
do you mean
never
about
about
food?
So no one was happy
Yeah.
about it. My very other bad moment of rugby this year is more personal than general. Was Warriors, my former club, losing all games
Yeah.
in the league,
That
and
was very unfortunate.
subsequently facing relegation. It was a very hard moment for me, because I felt like had I stayed, I know I would have pulled it off, because for the 5-6 years I was captain at Warriors, I always pulled it off. I knew there are teams we have to beat. I enforced and made sure we beat them. So the fact that the year when I left is when the team struggled most, beat me as a person. I felt like I shouldn't have moved, despite the joy I was receiving with Heathens. There's a perspective of winning the league unbeaten. I was looking at my national team dream come true. You understand? And very many other good things I have achieved this year from Heathens, as having that personal beating about what I had left behind. So that was one of the most actually trying moments. I think it was more trying than even the national team games that were postponed or cancelled. It was very, very trying for me. I always felt like I wish I could divide myself into two
And sorry,
and
man. Sorry,
operate on both ends, but
Sorry.
I couldn't.
Bruno.
My best
2022.
moments of
Someone's
2022.
giving us his best moment.
No,
Oh,
not yet.
I have quite a number and very many. I don't know if time will allow
Give us
me.
like your top two.
Taking ribs to
My top
France.
two.
Who took ribs to France, man?
Right now, wait.
Sometimes
It couldn't have been me, obviously. I'm not very, very
October.
good with food. So it couldn't have been me, and I do not know who did that. My best moments was one is Uganda having to host the Africa Cup Sevens. It was a very good show of rugby, and very motivational to us as players. We felt like we could do it and be there. My other very good moment was winning the league unbeaten in my first year of transition from Warriors to Heathens. It was really, really good for me. If you could allow me to just give one or two more.
No worries, no worries.
All right. The other was featuring for the national team in France. It was really a good moment for me. I remember that first game against Kenya. I kept on telling myself, we have arrived. You see, every sportsman peak as a sportsman is playing for the national team.
Right.
And when you achieve it, you have really arrived. You just have to work harder to maintain the sport and perform better. So that was one of them. And then the other one that no one ever mentions is the fact that we played Africa Cup and managed to move about 4 places in ranking. If not 410, I'm losing it. It's either from 44 to 34 or something like that. But
To 33.
yeah, but the fact that we moved very many places up from our former ranking was a very joyous moment to me personally. I felt like we had achieved. At least we didn't travel to France for jokes. Just we had at least made some strides. Just because obviously many people who are not very analytical will never look at those achievements.
Joachim Kisano had told us something that when you guys went to France and it was time for meals, you had to hurry before the Senegalese got there.
Yeah, it was quite challenging while we were in France, especially with the meals. To start with, we're not really accustomed with the food.
What food do those guys eat?
They eat really terrible food.
In France?
There has to be bread on their food.
Yes, they eat loads of pastries, very, very hard bread. And I can't really say.
What things were there that you could actually eat?
We could eat the chicken.
Why don't you get 4 pieces of
And
chicken?
they would give you just a piece of chicken because
For your national team.
the nutritionist had recommended. You see, they were feeding us according to World Rugby standards.
Oh, that's rubbish.
And the nutritionist had recommended a certain amount of proteins for the person, carbs, and so you'd get just that. Unfortunately, we were sharing the hotel with the Senegalese. The first few days it was for being sharp, especially breakfast, which was the only meal that had a variety of foods that you could understand and have at your luxury. So if they went there before you,
You'd miss
story
out
time.
on what you
Yeah,
like.
so for the first time, or for the very many times I was with the national team, those were some of the moments where you'd really see the brotherhood of someone would walk to your room and knock and tell you, man, breakfast time, come we go. You get it. So it was a trying moment, but we came out victorious.
That's great. Bruno, your best and worst for the year?
My best is, of course, one Africa Men's Sevens at Chadondo. It was great being part of such an organized event, rugby event. Then also the boys putting up a show like never before and emerging the African champions. It was so nice. My other best moment was in the league when Pirates, my club, the Stanbic Black Pirates, managed to beat Cobbs home and away. It was so beautiful. I looked up to also beating Heathens, especially at KPA, but we merged short. They had big boys on pitch and they did what they could. And they took
that game. That is, you guys.
And the experience of that game as well.
Really feel
Pirates versus
It
Heathens.
was literally like even jam on the road entering. Like,
Yeah.
That's how many people were watching rugby.
That was the best game I had ever watched at KPA, and also we later got to know many of the people around the area, around where we get it, also got to know Kings Park because of that game, because they had never seen that traffic leading to one place, the unknown place where they call Kukasawe, and now it was so massive.
That's nice.
You can imagine KPA, big as it is, running out of parking space. It was a nice experience. Then also our sevens boys revenging on Germany. That win was so beautiful. It was one of my best moments after the disappointment in the World Cup qualifiers. My worst, so recent. I lost to Heathens in Entebbe. The Uganda Cup finals was one of my. I had terrible pain from the final whistle throughout the express highway up to when I sat in chair to drink a beer. It was so painful.
But you got a beer.
But comes to Heathens.
Best and worst?
Man, my best moment. You guys, I already told you guys, Africa Cup Sevens was a madness.
You were watching
Crazy.
They made money selling.
He was even selling fish.
Funny how
Having fun and
That
also
was
earning.
Nyimba, they slept.
you guys.
Plus Didi.
Anyway,
Did the sleeping in the stand.
what's that thing called? Where someone can come to a rugby game and they close their eyes while in the
He said he was
stands.
praying.
Said he was meditating, but
He was praying for desire.
Guys, also another one of my best moments was being able to experience the Corps Heathens Uganda Cup semi-final just a few weeks ago. I wouldn't call it a best experience or a worst experience, but I just feel humbled to witness such great rugby. Wow, guys. It was 110 minutes.
Yeah, 110 minutes.
110 minutes of rugby, and kudos to every player that participated in that game. And congratulations to the Heathens for winning the Uganda Cup.
On a twin course.
Well, yeah, that is.
By
the way,
That's a discussion for another day.
Koma was in charge of the towing course. I had something weird on the first toss. What was the experience?
You know you've been saying towing course, right?
Guys, we should get like a penalty to give someone who mentioned something wrongly or says unknown facts.
Great. And we're positive next time we shall have a beer partner. We shall start taking shots here for such things. But we understand what you're
Anyway,
saying.
Won't I leave now?
Guys, what else do we have to talk about, Ruben?
Before we go into anything, you don't have anything from the negative side to tell us? You're done with your memories for the year?
Man, I'm a positive person. Eh?
Well done,
New year,
well
new
done,
me.
well done.
Positivity.
That's
So,
No
nice.
bad vibes.
You December makes it, I think, if I'm not mistaken, because the Fat Cats podcast started in July, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, July. So it's about 6 months now. I don't know if my math is right.
We should be celebrating. Guys, if you want to join us in our celebration, comment, like, share,
It's
subscribe.
been an interesting year. It's been a lot of growth from where we started, from our launch at Kings Park, to so many conversations we had. I don't know, maybe you can just highlight for you guys who have really been around, which has been your best conversation or your best podcast?
Quite a number. I was so excited about many podcasts, but I think one of my best was when you hosted Herbert Wafula,
Yeah.
the Legend podcast. I enjoyed the conversation that he had, because he has been around for some good time and has been writing about rugby for also some good years in the New Vision and other online papers. He had rich history. We also got to know of some that we didn't know, like beating France in the Dubai Sevens in 2004. Yeah, I enjoyed that podcast. I've always replayed it.
Yeah, interesting. What was your favorite one?
Guys, I liked it when we hosted Massa and Ian before they went for their Commonwealth Games. They were calm. They knew they were going to deliver. Yeah? And they sure delivered. Because I remember we met Edwin's mom, Edwin's dad, everyone met them. We were so happy to have them. We looked at them as our heroes. And yeah, and today having Koma, Koma is my good friend. Today is a good day. It feels relaxed and calm.
Yeah, he's always a calm guy.
Dungu is just bribing him
I
once
don't know,
rates.
I know,
Once
right.
rates.
See, Koma is driving a different route after we are done with this podcast. I don't drop me where I was going, but it's okay.
But anyway, I think mine would be the one with Zeno, where he told us he's going to stand for VP.
But sure, he would lose.
But he was sure he would lose. That was very interesting. Then there's a rant cast we had here when the team was a bit bigger, with that time after Kenya focused Uganda, when we were with Louis Semuju and the rest of the team. I think that was a really, really good conversation as well. We got a lot of feedback from Kenya. Many guys saying they appreciated the podcast. Of course, they were laughing at us at how Uganda is not on our level, but they still appreciated the podcast. And we thank everyone that has been watching. But before we even close, I just want Koma to tell us a little bit about, aside from the rugby and everything, who is Koma? What does Koma do?
Okay.
You have your business, tell them.
Koma is a lawyer by profession.
Okay.
Who has picked a lot of interest in financial technology.
Okay.
And has grown in the field of financial technology. I understand it like the back of my arm. I'm a businessman too. I do lots of businesses. I'll not break them down. I love to invest in people's ideas as a person. Away from the busy life, I am a clown. I laugh a lot, and people who hang around me a lot, Ruben can attest. It's always laughter because there's always one story from another and the other. I like to engage and have stories with people. I am a person who loves to cook. I cook all my meals. I love to be home. I love lots of things. On the other side as well, I am. I love to read a lot. Very very informed, and sometimes it rubs off very bad with very many people. And because they are short of information, they say, ayogera nyo. Because I love to read a lot, and I read things as funny as aviation, medicine. So cars, I love vehicles. I love old vehicles so much. I think ever since I started driving, I've always had that one classic. In my collection, I always have a classic Benz. So I love vehicles a lot, and I do a lot of
class,
research
Bruno.
about
Bruno,
them.
pick a leaf, bro.
I know, man.
I do a lot
Not
of
every day
research
going to
about
Kings
them.
Park and chill. Going for rugby chill.
So
Tweeting about every morning, tweeting about his Sunday girlfriend.
Oh my
Pick a
God.
leaf from Koma. Go ahead.
No, let us just finalize with Koma. Quick fire. Favorite food?
my favorite food is posh and beans.
Posher and beans. Interesting. Favorite car brand?
Mercedes.
Mercedes. Favorite music?
I love Afro Soul.
Afro Soul.
I
Interesting.
listen to Kenneth Mugabe a lot.
That's dope. And married or single?
I'm single.
Very single.
No. I mean, I'm not married as such,
Yeah.
but I'm in a relationship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing someone.
Interesting.
Koma, last one. Last two. Favorite cologne?
Nah, not really.
Axe.
I don't have a favorite as such, but I have very wonderful cologne. You're seated next to me, you can tell. I just don't mind the names. But I have a cologne from one of the Beckham collections.
One of them?
Beckham collections.
Have you heard of David Beckham? You know him.
Anyway, favorite travel destination?
Favorite
Uganda.
travel destination in Uganda. Last week I was in Western Uganda and I loved the place.
Which part of Western Uganda?
As in Ishaka, but I want to go to Kabale. I actually want to buy some land in Kabale, sir.
So you're in business.
It's a very nice place.
Guys, there is also another shout out we need to make before the year 2022 comes to a close. The man behind the camera. Joel, come. Let people just see you, man.
Joel,
Just come.
Yes,
Let
come
people
to
see you.
it. You need to come and say hi.
Just say hi, man. Tell people what's up.
Hey guys, it's been a great show. It's been fun working with all these guys. This guy is a clown, and it's always an amazing podcast having him. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas also.
Yes. And we'll be having Father Christmas. But it's late to have auditions. I think we should just have Bruno or Edwin.
No. Pajob would not be happy.
Ruben, anything else?
Yeah, before we close, Bruno,
Yeah.
tell us about this Sunday girlfriend you keep tweeting about.
Yeah, Bruno.
That's what you guys
brought
go
out-
through,
what
bro.
brought the inspiration to this? Because you always tweet about Sunday girlfriend. Now she has asked to meet your parents. What?
No, but
Yeah.
see, these are experiences that individuals tweet.
Yeah.
Now you guys don't also realize that, but
No, I do realize.
the fact that I tweet, I can imagine, then tweet it, and you guys relate with it, it makes it more fun.
It has become such a cult following that people look out to that.
For that Sunday morning. Sunday morning.
But you still refuse to put for us as a hashtag so that you can easily find all of them.
I will. 2023.
Guys, my parting shots. Be kind. Remember to be kind. One act of kindness can go a long way. So you meet a person, any person needs your help and you can help, go ahead, help them. It will create a ripple effect. Yeah?
Yeah.
Too much love from the fat cats. And I'm happy to say I'm not the fattest cat this year.
Doing well.
Anyway,
Who
that's
has been MIA for quite a few episodes. But yeah, it's been an amazing one. And I think this podcast is just, it justifies how we can end the year. It's been great. And as we're in the Christmas week, we wish all of you guys can really, really enjoy with family, with friends, with all your loved ones. Just make sure you be merry, you spread love, share what you have, however little, however big. And also have a great new year. You can always get our content, as I always say, on our YouTube platform, or you can listen to it on our audio platforms, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and the likes. And connect with us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're trying to be cool and get onto TikTok as well.
Comment, like, subscribe. Share,
don't
comment.
forget to subscribe, and we shall see you in 2023. A lot of amazing conversations coming your way.
Fat Cats
And a lot
podcast
of
is
updates.
crazy.
So see you guys. Happy New Year.
Adios.
Happy New Year.
Thanks for listening in. Share with us your thoughts from today's episode, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.